Legend of Vox Machina Season 3 finally has a new teaser trailer for us, and it is in fact the season opener. So let's go through it and talk about all the little details and Easter eggs I noticed. Plus, they finally blessed us with a release date, October 3rd. The wait is nearly over. I almost forgot to mention, this will contain spoilers for Season 3 and Campaign 1 on the whole, so you've been warned. All right, so we open up with a shot of a raven, just like we did in the previous intro. And this is, of course, representative of the matron of ravens, of whom Vax is the champion, right? And Vax is fate touched, meaning these threads of fate that you see throughout this intro and the previous one are basically the threads that are weaving this entire story together, right? And Vax, being fate touched, can kind of uniquely manipulate these threads. And the events of this trailer are presented through Vax's perspective. He looks up at the raven, and then we get these glimpses of the things to come. Basically, Vax kind of viewing the future due to him being fate touched. And in this opening shot, there was an emphasis on these flowers, or at least they stood out to me. And I'm no botanist or florist, but the closest approximation I could find were camellia flowers. And just take a look at some of the things camellia flowers represent and symbolize. And I'm just going to touch on a couple here. First of all, love. That should be kind of a big thing this season. But more importantly, longing. And specifically, pink camellias represent this. Longing for someone who is missed. And then overcoming adversity down here. They bloom in winter and when conditions are often harsh, which can link them to overcoming adversity. All three of those things are supremely relevant with the themes of Campaign 1, and especially what will ultimately happen to Vax. Next up, we get this shot of Anna Ripley with Orthax's eyes between her, showing that we're not quite done with either of them. And here we have a shot of Vex not wearing her iconic blue feather behind her ear, but holding a black raven feather. Definitely representative of Vax and kind of telling for things to come. Next up, we have my favorite sequence of the trailer. This is just haunting and poignant, but we have all of Vox Machina walking together, but one by one they start to disappear until only Keyleth is left. This is representative of the fact that not only is she half elven with an extended lifespan, but on top of that, due to her being a druid, she will far outlive everyone she knows and loves. Next, we have this sequence of Kaylee leaving through the door, it closing behind her, and Scanlan's hand reaching out for her, representative of his fears of losing his daughter. This is alluding to one of my favorite sequences from Campaign 1. I cannot wait for this. I now assume that we will be getting this in Season 3. This transitions into our hero shot with Scanlan wielding Mythcarver, and then Vox Machina starts doing a bunch of fighting. Here you can see Vex wielding Fenthras, not only using the blazing bowstring, but also casting a lightning shot. And then we have this gorgeous sequence of Pike using the Plate of the Dawn Martyr, a vestige we haven't seen her get yet, but she will clearly get this season. This was so cool. So then, like I mentioned, we have some combat, and here we have Grog using the Titanstone Knuckles. But what's interesting here is the kind of planescape that this is happening in is like the kind of otherworldly, godly planescape that we also saw last season when Vax fought Pervonsul for the mantle of the Raven Queen. As you can see, there's like this, golden kind of stitching in the background in both shots. Now, up here up top, this is from the opening, right? So this isn't necessarily something that will happen throughout the course of the season. They take creative license just showing cool things, in the opening, like, whereas opposed to this actually happened in an episode. Anyway, I just thought it was cool that this is representative of kind of that deific realm, which also, is an allusion to things that will come toward the end of this campaign. Then we get this shot from Whitestone, shows a couple moons, no big deal. And then we get the true money shot of this trailer with all of Vox Machina standing up against Thordak. And the transition here from Pike's pendant to Thordak's soul anchor was so good. Also, rest in peace to the legend Lance Reddick. We then transition away from Season 3's Big Bad Thordak to the entire series' Big Bad Matt Mercer. No, I'm just kidding. Although this is Matt in his DM form with the blindfold. But then we quickly transition to this orb surrounded by these hands, which I believe to be Vecna or the Whispered One's hands, alluding to the ultimate Big Bad of Vox Machina. And this orb here is interesting for a couple of reasons. One, it could be alluding to the orb beneath Whitestone that will play a major role in the whole Vecna thing, but it could also be like this kind of cheeky foreshadowing to what's going to happen to Vax. I'm gonna leave that in, because then we transition back out through Vax's eye, where that orb becomes his iris, right? And for those of you that have seen campaign 3, this is kind of some foreshadowing. And then the final shot of this trailer is Vax getting left behind, but trying to go catch up to Vox Machina and leaving 7 raven feathers in his wake, 1 for each of them. And interestingly, those same flowers are framing this shot as well. So take that as you will. Anyways, y'all, that's going to do it for this one. Definitely let me know down in the comments any details or Easter eggs that I missed. And be sure to like, follow, subscribe, whatever platform you're on. But most importantly, join the Discord. We'll be having watch parties for Season 3 when they drop. But we also have watch parties for every episode of Campaign 3. And it's a blast. So we'd love to have you join us. Anyways, thank you so much for watching.